up with the name Nairobi Pay and Nairobi Plan. It was more or less nameless. I think they call it Taifa Pay at some point. There was no brand. And when you're selling a solution to the public, you need to brand it. The user interface must be easy. If you dial now *647# on your phone, you should be able to see step by step, create an account, put your ID, what do you want to pay, is it land rates, is it parking, etc. So the user interface, for the friendliness of it, we call it Nairobi Pay. So that is...
What was the effective date for this system?
Effective date in terms of?
When did you start using it? Like when did you migrate to it?
That must have been 2020 actually. Let my Chief Officer Revenue just check.
Yeah, and Governor,
he was also Chief Officer Smart Nairobi, so he's also in the ICT space.
Chair, the question you're asking is best answered by a document, Governor. There has to be a document that speaks to the framework.
There's a document, Appendix 2, 4C.
What is that document?
It's a memorandum of agreement between the city county government, NMS and KRA into the integrated management system for Nairobi.
The one that was signed by Ann Kananu on 15th November 2021.
Yes. And beyond that, there's a, that's the document. And the different articles talk about the scope, the adoption of one system, Nairobi revenue system, talks about how to roll it out, data migration and reconstruction, system training for users, stakeholder engagement, dispute resolution. Signed by Her Excellency Ann Kananu Mwenda, Acting Governor at that time, Mohamed Badi, Lieutenant General, NMS, and the Commissioner General of KRA, Githim Buru.
So, Governor, the last time we were here, there were conversation about the ownership of this system, and I think your answer then was that it is fully owned by the county government.
Yes, at that time the discussions were that it's our system, we own it, that's why we're not paying anyone for it. We're not paying any commission, any development fee, because the thinking at that point was government is government, so let's support the county of Nairobi, and that is why I answered as much as the support framework and the memorandum had been between those three entities. You realize one of the entities it does not exist anymore, which is the NMS. It is just us and KRA no longer collect for us. Part of what we've been migrating actually has been accounts which have the KRA title in terms of the collection accounts.
So, Governor, this is a very interesting agreement because it doesn't specify the duties, responsibilities, rights of any of the parties there. Why are these parties? Why was this agreement even necessary? Because it doesn't speak to any of the duties, responsibilities. Is it the whole thing? Because I can see only 3 pages.
And that's the 2021 agreement. You remember that all of us were against this. Because against this at that time, when I was in the Senate, because of those very reasons. And which is why, if you look after that, we have what we call the technical support framework in my time, put down on the 16th of March this year, that actually looks at the specific roles, maintenance, performance improvement, removing outdated functions, system hosting. This is more specific in terms of what the county's roles are and what the ministry's roles are. It is signed by our county secretary, our chief officer Smart Nairobi, who is here. He is now Chief Officer Revenue, and the ICT authority. So we want to retain
if you look at that document, there are pages that are missing, at least from my bundle. The even numbered pages are not here.
must be a printing issue. Just
that is correct, because from page 3 of 9 we go to page 5 of 9, and then page 7 of 9.
Apologies, that must be a printing error. We
need to get this complete document, because this is extremely useful for our work.
Yes.
Why should the Treasury be talking of developing another system with the Ministry of ICT already has a system that is supporting the biggest county in the country? And it's not for you to answer, as you had said at the beginning, but we really want to understand what the Ministry of ICT is offering Nairobi to guide us, whether this then ought to be the solution that could be standardized and rolled out to the other county governments.
In fact, Governor, for the few pages that are here are worrying me even more. You have been very categorical that Nairobi Pay is owned by the Nairobi County government. If you go to page 3 of that agreement, page 3 of 9, there is Article 1.3, which says headed purpose. And it starts by saying the Nairobi Pay system is owned by the national government of Kenya.
Yes, Chair, as I explained, at the point when I gave that response then, the thinking and the agreement was that just how's this thing, you guys go on with it. Now is when they moved into software as a service. But because, you know, there's development cost, the infrastructure, we didn't buy those machines. We want it to be ours, but we don't own those machines. And so we said, okay, continue offering it as a service, as we then now install our own. We have a running contract of development with Technobrain. Eventually, it will all migrate into Technobrain, because even as you support a county with a service, it cannot be in perpetuity.
But just give us clarity, Governor.
The situation now is
who
what
owns Nairobi Pay?
The situation now, as we speak,
yes,
is what is in this technical framework. Nairobi Pay system is owned by the national government,
not by the county of Nairobi.
No. The thinking that time changed. What I want for Nairobi County is for us to fully, own now, because of the technical expertise. We have everything. Maybe we may not have the immediate resources to buy those servers and whatnot at this point, but that is what we're moving to. There's a running contract with the Technobrain that had been there earlier. We actually compelled by the court to conclude it, and they're now working on the same, mirroring this module, so that we don't also shock Nairobians with changes in how they pay
You want to change again?
No, we want to own our infrastructure.
Why?
Because counties should own their revenue infrastructure.
But this is software as a service. This is it's a rental model. The ministry has developed it. I mean, you don't want to buy Amazon. You don't want to buy the entire Microsoft when you can just get a license to use Microsoft products. That's the basis of software as a service.
Say you've been in IT, and a full ERP system can have a strong revenue module. We found a running contract with Technobrain that if we cancel would cost Nairobians another 800 million shillings.
What was the contract for?
It was a full ERP system.
When was it executed?
When was it? 2020.
2020?
Yes.
Just 1 year before this framework agreement.
Yeah.
And Governor, you see, this is what brings confusion.
Yeah.
Because if you don't own the system, you are saying it is given to us for free. Your submission was that we don't pay anyone for anything.
As of now, we don't.
Is there a service fee on that USSD?
There's a service fee on the USSD. I'm saying Nairobi County does not pay a commission.
No, just a minute.
Agency.
Where does that service fee go to?
The provider of the USSD service. Who is it? Tilly.
Yeah, Tilly.
Yeah, the provider of the SMS. You get OTP prompts. The provider gets that amount.
So who's that person?
Give them the details. Let them give the specific company.
Chair, maybe if I differentiate between the system and USSD. USSD is hosted by what are called premium rate service providers, who are normally contracted by, who actually now get this from Safaricom and actually CA. So there's a premium rate service provider who hosts our USSD, which then we connect to the system. This is a separate issue from the system, the hosting of the USSD. So we pay Tilil Technologies, which is a company that has approvals from ICTA, on hosting and CA on hosting. So those are the people who provide us USSD services.
Now, the governor talks of a Technobrain contract, and I think that's important for us. It's very important disclosure. If something was executed with Technobrain in 2020, and then in 2021 there was this agreement with the national government, why would you still pursue the Technobrain arrangement? I mean, yesterday the president dropped the Adani deals.
Adani deal have not gotten to the commitment stage.
So
no payments are
if
being
there was
made.
a commitment in 2020, why then was there this other commitment in 2021?
Chair, leave alone that. There was even revenue sure by NBK at the same time that have created liabilities to the city. It was that's why it became governor. It was so confused in Nairobi County.
But despite that, you're saying you still have to fulfill the Technobrain contract.
We do. We'll have a serious liability not to. The negotiations now are looking at the specific modules. Some of them are fleet management for our garbage vehicles and for the general fleet of Nairobi.
So what do we use that Technobrain system for?
It is being developed. It's still being developed. We've not finished paying for it.
But we are paying for it.
Yes, we're paying. I think just recently we've paid, or we were to pay at around 100 million.
What would we need to do that this Ministry of ICT system can't do?
Thank you, Chairman. The Ministry ICT system is a revenue management platform. The contract that was signed with Technobrain is an ERP. So it has different modules. It has case management that the legal people will use to manage their litigation and cases in court and monitor and so on. It has a fleet management system that the people in transport will use, the transport people will use for vehicles and so on. It has a HR management module. All those modules that you find in an ordinary ERP are in the Technobrain ERP.
Does it have a revenue collection platform?
So the Technobrain arrangement had a revenue module as well. And so we told them if we manage to get to use these government developed ones, could we have a conversation about varying the contract so that the cost of developing that revenue model, if should we decide not to proceed, can you develop another service that we require? And they were open to that. So we formed a